Sometimes history witnesses such moments that they deeply affect not only the period in which they took place but also the future. Today, we will take you on a journey through the famous assassinations that have left a mark on the history of the United States of America. These events not only ended the lives of great leaders but also changed the soul of a nation and the course of world history. Each of them has taught us important lessons with the questions and mysteries they left behind. Let's take a look at these tragic and fascinating stories together and discover the dark side of history and the secrets that lie behind it. Abraham Lincoln, a nation in mourning. Let us now take a journey into the dark pages of history and touch one of the deepest wounds in American history, the assassination of Abraham Lincoln. April 14, 1865 was a time of hope for the future of a nation struggling to leave behind the painful scars of the American Civil War. At the head of the United States of America was a determined leader who had won the love of the people, Abraham Lincoln. However, behind the scenes of the play being staged at Ford's Theater in Washington that evening, a tragedy was being prepared that would be engraved in the hearts of the nation. John Wilkes Booth, an actor and a fanatic for the Southern cause, targeted Lincoln. Booth, by opening the dusty curtain of the stage, struck a fatal blow at the heart of the young nation. This assassination, which ended Lincoln's life, not only brought the end of a leader, it also raised big questions about the future of America. That night, when the sound of gunfire echoed through Ford's Theater, America lost not only a leader but also hope and faith in peace. Lincoln's death radically shook the Reconstruction process. Efforts to rebuild unity and integrity in a war-torn land were suddenly overshadowed by national mourning. While the American people mourned like a nation without a guide in perhaps the most difficult period of history, this tragedy opened the door to years of grief. Abraham Lincoln's assassination was not only the death of a president but also the bleeding wound of a nation's ideals, unity, and dreams for the future. And that night America lost not only a leader but one of the most hopeful turning points in history. John F. Kennedy, the greatest mystery of the 20th century. We now focus on one of the greatest mysteries in world history, the assassination of John F. Kennedy, the 35th President of the United States of America. November 22, 1963 began as an ordinary day in Dallas, but it ended in a tragedy that would change the course of history. President Kennedy, a charismatic leader who gave hope to his people, was leading his country through the most turbulent period of the Cold War. However, a bullet fired during a motorcade in Dallas targeted not only America's leader but also the hopes of the entire nation for its future. When Kennedy was shot, the world fell silent. That moment reverberated not only in the streets of Dallas.
It's been said every car tells a story, and this one recalls the day, the moment America lost a president.
The tragic news soon traveled around the world and created an international shock wave. The veil of mystery behind the assassination has not been lifted since that day. Although Lee Harvey Oswald has been named as Kennedy's killer, questions about who was behind this tragedy are still awaiting answers. Whether the assassination was the work of a single person or a larger conspiracy remains a mystery that has been the subject of debate and speculation for years. Kennedy's assassination was not only the end of a man's life, it also dealt a profound blow to America's Cold War policies and global balance. His death plunged America's future into an uncertain period, shaking public confidence and leaving deep scars on hearts and minds. Kennedy's assassination stands as one of the darkest pages of American political history, leaving behind countless questions and mysteries. And even today, as the truth behind this tragedy awaits clarification, the world hopes to solve one of the greatest mysteries of the 20th century. Martin Luther King Jr., a dream broken. We now turn to one of the most powerful voices in American history, Martin Luther King Jr. April 4, 1968 began as an ordinary day in Memphis, but the evening of that day witnessed a tragedy that will be remembered throughout history. Martin Luther King Jr., who fought for racial equality and peace and was known for his nonviolent stance, was brutally assassinated at the Lorraine Motel. This assassination targeted not only a leader but also the hope that flourished in the hearts of millions of people. King was a symbol of the struggle against racism and the quest for social justice. The great speech in which he inspired millions by saying "I have a dream" resonated not only in America but also around the world. However, his courageous struggle ended with a bullet. King's death dealt a deep blow to the civil rights movement. It momentarily extinguished the fire in the hearts of millions of people seeking justice and equality. However, this fire was never completely extinguished. Although King's life ended tragically, his legacy lives on today. His dream was not broken by an assassination. On the contrary, after his death, this dream became even stronger and became a symbol of the struggle against racism and discrimination. Martin Luther King Jr. may have passed away physically, but his struggle and his quest for justice and equality continue to echo around the world even today. His voice was tried to be silenced by an assassination attempt, but this voice will continue to live for generations as the echo of justice. Robert F. Kennedy, a family tragedy. Finally, we focus on another heartbreaking loss of one of the most painful and tragic families in American history, the Kennedy family, Robert F. Kennedy. Just 5 years after the death of John F. Kennedy, the Kennedy family was once again rocked by a tragedy. In 1968, in Los Angeles, amid a presidential campaign, Robert F. Kennedy, a symbol of a hopeful future, was shot along with his dreams. Robert Kennedy was not just a leader, he was a man who dreamed of building a more just society in America. He was a leader who won the love of the people and took bold steps in the pursuit of justice and equality. That night in Los Angeles, as he delivered his victory speech, he presented a hopeful vision for the future. However, this vision was suddenly darkened by a bullet. Kennedy's assassination plunged not only his family but the whole of America into deep mourning. The assassination was another link in the chain of tragedies that fell upon the Kennedy family. The loss of Robert Kennedy once again shattered the hopes for the future of a nation. America has once again lost a leader, a hope, a dream. However, Robert F. Kennedy's ideals did not end with his death. His struggle for justice and equality, the values to which he dedicated his life, is still a source of inspiration for many people. While the Kennedy family may have been worn down by these tragedies, their legacy continues to burn as an unquenchable torch in the struggle for justice and human rights. As we come to a close, we examine 4 unforgettable assassinations that have left a deep mark on America's history, shattering not only the lives of great leaders, but also the spirit of a nation, its hopes for the future, and its social fabric. Assassinations always leave behind big questions, mysteries, and unhealed wounds. Remembering these tragic stories is perhaps one of the most important ways to learn from the pain of the past and build a stronger future. History offers us valuable lessons that we should always remember. Knowing the truth behind these assassinations is vital to prevent history from repeating itself. If you are interested in this video and would like to see more of this kind of content, don't forget to press the like button and subscribe to our channel. Hope to see you in the next video to enlighten another dark corner of history together.